You guys asked for it repeatedly. You got it. Welcome once again to Tales from the Crawl Space. I, of course, am Brad Harvey, Dark Overlord of the Pest Control Humor Depot, my favorite group. And with me across the miles is the one, the only, you know him, you tolerate him, Jack Starry. How you doing, man?
If I ask for things repeatedly, I usually end up having to sit in the corner and masturbate all on myself, all by my lonesome.
That takes a lot of repetition on its own, to be honest with you.
I ask repeatedly, so I stroke it repeatedly. It's just on my
Repeatedly,
penis,
that's right.
right on my penis.
Right on your penis.
Got it right out the gate.
Right out the gate. Awesome. Yeah. That's for you, Candace. I was like, yeah. That's like, a day without penis, 7 days without penis makes 1 week.
That's right. What's it? Oral sex makes your whole day, but anal sex makes your whole week.
Whole week, yeah. Oh my God. So, welcome to Ask Us Anything.
Anything.
That's echo effects supplied by Jack Starry.
Thank you.
So, okay, we and as always, you fuckers at Pest Control Humor Depot were made out of questions, and you sent most of them to Jack. So Jack gets to ask, and I get to answer. I got a few of my own this time, and we'll get to some of those. So Jack,
Yes, sir.
It's been monsoon season here in the Great Midwest this week, and the termites are still running, and we're still treating. So doing a lot of muddy work. I've been caked in mud. I look like some sort of I don't know, what are the natives that like smear mud and donkey shit all over their faces and stuff.
I was going to say a walking goo cluster, but
a walking goo cluster, yeah. So I had a bunch of that low gravel in some show. I would look like a payday bar today.
I've had turds that look like that.
Yeah. Oh man. Today was rare. I had a termite job today. It was a walkout basement, right? But the walkout was, hill here, and a little patio. And you ain't trenching this shit. Forget that. What do you got to do? Nah, you know what you got to do. Horizontal rod. Everybody's doing a horizontal bop all the fucking way up this hill, right?
Man.
That was a joy because the hill was not the grassiest thing in the world. So it's just like I get up there, God damn it, I was like jamming it again. Yeah, by the time I'm at the hill, I'm sounding like Arnold. And it's like, and then to make matters worse, I get that last treatment out of that, right? I pull that freaking rod out. And it was like I busted a terminal artery or something because it's just like it's like
you got a money shot.
I got a money shot. That's right, and I didn't even enjoy it. And no, it did not taste like salty chlorine. So
like hot dog water.
Yeah, not that I wasn't disappointed. Not that I was disappointed though, mind you. Oh man, but you know what? Termite. I'd had a termite job every day this week, and I don't have one tomorrow, which is awesome. And yet true. Oh man, I may accidentally back over my ankle just to get out of it. Or maybe even just my head. I'll just pull a Phil Leotardo.
Well, I'll tell you, man, that's where the money is, man. That is where the
money is. But damn, man, it's like I'm pretty beat up today. After doing this all week. So, I got a light day tomorrow. So hopefully the Lord and William the Merciful will hopefully keep it light. And we are talking like it's not Friday, and that's because it's not Friday. Jack is taking his child prodigy son, not so child prodigy son, JT, to a ball game tomorrow.
Yes, I am. It's gonna be fun.
So we're recording this on a Thursday, and as such, everybody knows I like to drink my bourbon on Friday, but today is not Friday, so I'm not drinking bourbon today. I'm drinking vodka.
Vodka. You're drinking the vodka.
Vodka make me strong like bull. And what really impressive, and one of the main reason I'm drinking vodka is I was out. And so I had to go to the store and buy some because I am going to be making my world famous Savannah Smiles for myself this weekend.
Oh.
And two, See that back there?
Uh huh.
That's Kettle One vodka. Um,
Oh,
a very good, very tasty, very smooth vodka. That's a 1.75 liter. I'll reach over later for it because my glass. I still have some in my glass, but I only paid $21.99 for that.
holy shit!
I like the shit
Damn.
a brick. Okay, I get done with this termite job, right? And everybody knows that residential pest and termite control. It's a piss desert out there. I mean, you can't find a good legal place to piss to save your life because customers don't want yeah. I'm caked in mud. I've been rolling around in gravel. I look like a payday bar. I'm like, look, dude, can I use your bathroom? No, I'm not going to do that. And a lot of times there's not enough trees. There's no mini barns. There's cameras everywhere nowadays. I mean, back
Yeah.
in the day when I first started doing this, oh yeah, you could piss anywhere. Um, I pissed shit. Tony George's house. Tony George used to run Indianapolis Motor Speedway, a real swanky house and everything. I pissed on the side of his house once. There were no cameras around, so what the fuck? I let her loose. Can't do that anymore. So anyway,
Well, I'll tell you, some of the old '70s construction houses, they had the chimney kind of kicks out from the side of the house,
mm-hmm,
brick construction, and
right?
then like usually right next to that's where the AC compressor sets.
Mm,
So what I would do is I would get in that corner with my B&G and start slowly treating right up the corner of that spot where the chimney meets the house with my
yeah,
pecker with my penis hanging out and just tinkle while I was doing that to look like I was working while I was also making my
that's a
bladder
good.
gladder.
Oh yeah, I've done that before in a place where I pretty much was convinced there was no camera. But
Oh,
this was in a privacy fence right up against in the backyard of somebody's house,
uh-huh.
and I was like, I had my treating rod in one hand and my treat rod in the other, and was letting her rip. But yeah, those moments are rare these days. So anyway, I pulled into a gas station. I saw a liquor store. I was like, you know what? I want to get some vodka because I've got this peach juice in the fridge. I got to get it used up before it goes bad. And walked in and like a beam of light shining down on this 1.75 liter
Oh,
bottle of Kettle One vodka for $21.99. I couldn't
damn.
resist. I had to buy it. They didn't have, and besides, this store didn't have any Evan Williams single barrel. Or Evan Williams
What?
bottled and bond. I was upset. So.
Is that the store that you and I went to that had the armed guard out front?
Oh, 21st Amendment? Yeah, not that. This wasn't the same store. This was Eagle Creek Liquors over on the west side, an entire universe away from where you and I were.
Oh, okay. I got
Yeah,
you.
yeah. So
Just making sure.
yeah. So anyway, okay. The Brad Harvey drinking portion of the show is over. Let's get on with the questions.
Well, I want to say a couple things first, if you don't mind, sir. I
Party
want to
on.
let you know that G Rex and Dirty Skittles have invited us back to shit that goes on in our heads. They just crossed over 400,000 downloads recently for their
Ooh, oh
podcast. They are
wow.
kicking butt.
Yeah.
And mid October, we're going to be recording. Not sure when it will air because they're booked all the way to 2025, but they managed to squeeze us in the middle of October. So,
Yeah, and Jack, as a matter of fact, I had, after I got the news that they wanted us back, I, I went ahead and went back to that episode that you and I were on. So I
uh huh.
gave it a re-listen, and because I was trying to figure out exactly why in the hell they're asking us back, right?
Yeah, I'm
And
completely
I listened
stymied.
to the whole thing, and I still don't know why.
No, neither do I. I think
this
it's a
is a
pity.
this was a, I think this is a pity thing.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah. But anyway, G Rex, Dirty Skittles, if you're listening, probably not. I am honored, and I know Jack is as well.
Oh my God, yes.
Mhm.
One other thing I wanted to mention is that our friend and fellow cheesebag Dave Lyon has a page called Crab Smasher Dice and Resin. He makes all this cool shit. He made JT a set of dice with all different kinds of insects and stuff inside the dice.
Mhm.
And I was able to give it to him for Christmas. And he's making a set of bullet dice for JT as well. But on the website, if you go under our sponsors, I added Dave's page
Mhm.
there, both his TikTok and his Facebook group. It's Crab Smasher Dice and Resin, and that's
Mhm.
Cheesebag Dave Lyon. So show him a little love if you get a
Oh,
chance.
absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Yeah. Dave Linus, you remember may have been, I don't know if Jack just mentioned that he was on the international episode. Um, was it the most recent one?
Yep. Yep.
Yep. Okay. Yeah.
Gonna have him
So,
back too, I think. He wants to come back for another international.
oh yeah, we'll let him back.
Fuck yeah.
Like G Rex and Dirty Skittles, we were also into pity. So yeah, we'll get him back here. So oh yeah, definitely. Check Dave Lyons stuff out, and of course, let's check out.
Oh, I know what that is. Oh, I know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That is my Arnold Palmer chaser to my delicious, refreshing vodka. Brought to you by, of course, SpanglerArt.com.
Yes.
Tony Spangler. If you can dream it, he can do it. And and he has yet to disappoint. He has got a couple of really good things. He has he started adopting the ragged, old, faded label on some of his tumblers. He's got one. What's that stuff called? Dialox or something like that.
Yep. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. It's on PCHD. Check it out. It is. I mean, it's an old beat up label and it looks awesome. And check that out. He's got him a DDT one now. And of course, any of the other things that you might imagine, like you want a naked chick riding a big fat hot dog or something. Yeah, I mean, he'd probably do it for you.
I want him to do an old beat up Diazinon label for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I want an old Diazinon label. That would be good.
That would be good. Cool. Yeah, definitely. So, but anyway, Tony Spangler. And of course, we all know every Tony Spangler tumbler comes with this.
This surgical stainless steel urethral sounding rod.
That's right, Jack. Smooth insertion and smooth evacuation are yours with the purchase of every Tony Spangler tumbler.
From Spiegel, Chicago 60609.
That's right. Yeah, and if you do, it especially comes in handy when I'm drinking my delicious libations out of Paula.
Delicious Paula.
Delicious Paula. Yeah, there's just a sweet, tangy savoriness that can only come from a Paula Benedict tumbler by Tony Spangler, SpanglerArt.com.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Perfectly. Perfect.
And if you get the Paula tumbler, don't forget rubber bottom.
No, rubber bottom. That's the shit right there.
Question time.
Question time. Our everybody's favorite podcast intro maker submitted a question. JT submitted a question. He goes, "What's the most dangerous job you've worked that has a notable story behind it? Like, what's a story you can confidently tell even though you were damn near close to death or ended up in a hospital bed?"
I would have to say the most dangerous thing I ever did was actually just doing a plain old service. I'm in some Section 8 housing. We're knocking on doors. I've got the guy with me. He knocks, doesn't get in. He's fumbling with the keys. He can't get the key to work. I said, let me try it. And so I, fumbling with the keys, and I get it unlocked. I open my head. I stick my head in to say, hey, pest control, fumigado, and all of a sudden, I got a barrel of a gun right there.
I've had that
happen. Yeah, absolutely. And the guy that was with me was like, "Chill out, motherfucker, with the pest control." It's like he pulled a gun back. He goes, "Why don't you motherfuckers knock?" And this is after 5 minutes of goddamn knocking, right? And that was a pant filler right there.
You dropped a loaf in your pants.
Oh, I did, man. A sloppy ploppy.
Well, I got to tell you, the one I felt fearful for my life, I was in Brooklyn Park, Maryland, which is notorious for being a not good neighborhood. And these row homes had these little tiny postage stamps of a yard that were chain link fenced in for each row home. Mm-hmm. And the next yard over, these two guys were stabbing the shit out of each other when I came out of this house. I stood there for a second. I was like, oh, fuck. There's blood going everywhere. My ass went right back in the house.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Like, no, thank you. Not sticking around for that one.
Nope. None of that. Oh, man. Yeah. It's a lot more dangerous job than than you would imagine. So anyway, I've got a question here from my buddy Chris Higby, aka Chris Chaos in wrestling circles. He goes, "Is the customer really always right?" Now, Jack, I'm not going to answer that, and you're not going to answer that because our good friend Russell No Ball Goswiller answered it for us. So, Higby asks, "Is the customer really always right?" And No Ball comes back with, "The customer is right in matters of taste." That's the original quote and has nothing to do with us having to do everything they want.
Amen.
Isn't that,
Amen.
and then like that should be etched on the dashboard of every fucking service truck out there.
Should be tattooed on every branch manager's forehead.
Oh, fucking A. Not on their forehead because they'll never see it, Yeah. Maybe on the regional manager's crotch, they might see it, but.
Right on the pubis, right above the penis.
Right above the penis. Yep, exactly. Or the vagina,
the vagina.
The vagina, as case may be. Or the wait a minute, it's pronounced vagina.
It's
because Nina's rhymes with vagina.
It's vagina. That's right.
Inside joke. But anyway, yes, Russell nailed it as always. Yes, the customer is right in matters of taste. They're not right. Yeah, they're not right. They're not always right when it comes to how to do a job that does take some technical training, some experience, and in order to get the results. Spray here, spray here, spray here, spray here. Use the medicine. The customer's not always right. Fuck that shit all day long. So definitely something to remember, and definitely something to throw in your boss's face if you need to, man. So
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
In this age of IPM, the Department of Ag doesn't like us hosing shit down. So
yeah, I know.
Well, I got one for us from Dave Lyon, who we just mentioned, our good friend, our good Australian friend, Dave Lyon. He goes, "What would you tell someone who recommends spraying a firewood pile with fipronil? How does he wants to know how he's actually got several here. I forgot to separate them, but what would you tell someone who wanted to spray a firewood pile with fipronil?
Not just no, but fuck no.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at.
That would be the short answer. The long answer is, oh my God, are you fucking out of your mind? Not just no, fuck no. There's no way I'm going to fucking do that. You read the goddamn label and it says specifically, don't do that.
Tell them spray your own first and see how it works out for you.
Yeah.
Like a bullshit. He also goes to ask, how does someone start a podcast? And I sent him a whole big list of all the stuff when I first started out, how to get it going for free. I used something called Anchor, which was now called Spotify for podcasters, and you can record for free. But the only drawback is that if you're going to invite someone else to be on the show, it has to be through your phone, so the audio quality blows goats for quarters.
It does.
And as you can tell by the first season of Tales from the Crawlspace.
Yeah, if I remember that. Yeah, it sounds like you were all recording it from different men's rooms and bus stations throughout the country.
Speaking through the glory hole.
That's right. That's right. The glory hole is not just for that. You can actually record podcasts through it too. Just saying. I know there's some of you cheesebags out there that might need that information. But I'll tell you what. As far as starting a podcast, it's great. It is really good. It's really cool. But it pales in comparison to when your podcast develops and grows and everything. It's not. It's fortunately for Jack. I'm speaking for Jack because what the fuck, and but having a podcast, doing a podcast regularly, it's a blast, especially when it's something and you're basically talking to people like you talk to them in the tech room. And if I could give you any, as far as starting the podcast, that's Jack's stuff right there. But as far as maintaining a podcast and maintaining interest in it and stuff like that, just be yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Be yourself. I'm a hopeless drunk, so I I am myself every week on the podcast.
Well, okay. He asked after that. He goes, "Have you ever tried liquid carbon dioxide for bed bugs and German roaches?" No, I haven't. I didn't even know that was a thing, but I'd love to look into it.
I have.
Oh,
Yes. While it is not liquid carbon dioxide, it was the dry ice gun that Terminix. It was called Cryonite. Of course, Terminix had to throw their own name on it. They called it
of course.
Rapid Freeze. And yeah, I was an initial disciple of it because I didn't know any better. And the entire process turned out to be a colossal pain in the ass. And reason being is, we learned early on that in order for a good bedbug program to work, it's got to have some sort of residual to it. And this has no residual to it. Yeah,
Right.
you're going to kill some bedbugs and you're going to kill some German roaches. But as far as unless this was a while back, so unless the equipment has evolved into being something a little less deadly, yeah, I mean it's perfect. But when I was using it, we killed some bed bugs, but we always had callbacks, and it was definitely a fun thing to toy with when we first got it. But the drawback was you got to be really careful with that sucker. When we got the rapid freeze, it came with a crack and crevice tip in addition to the regular orifice that was about this big, you could, and it would blow out basically. The liquid CO2 would get to the air, it would freeze, it would create little dry ice pellets, tiny little
Mm-hmm.
dry ice pellets that you could hit with shit, and it was supposed to drop the temperature down to immediately to where the insect could not generate enough glycol in their system to survive it. They would cause cellular disruption and they would die. Well, the problem with this is that little tip we did, it was, we said use it on German roaches. We had an Italian restaurant that really had bad roaches. So we tried it out, and I'm going about 10 feet with this thing, and I'm doing everything it says, pull the trigger, let it off, pull the trigger, let it off, pull the trigger, let it off. Well, sooner or later it stopped coming out, and I was like, oh shit. So I was like, all right, it's froze up, we'll just let it rest for a little while. And about 20 minutes went by, it's still not going, right? So I take it, and it's got a retractable thing, so I kind of I'm like jerking it off, right? Trying to get it to. So and then I pulled the trigger, and when I did, the last outward part, it exploded.
Oh,
It sounded
so what
like
happens when you jerk things off? It happens that way.
exactly. It blew its wad, and I mean, it came apart, and it made this. It was like a 12 gauge shotgun going off in both sound and recoil, and it threw me back, and I don't know what the machine was ruined.
Oh boy.
And yeah, my boss was none too pleased, but I told him, get off my ass. This thing damn near killed me. Fuck you. And so as far as the CO2 thing, I don't know. I hear that actually introducing CO2 into like a chamber or something with bed
Mm-hmm.
bugs in it, say it will you're not going to suffocate them real quick. It will cause agitation to where they will come out and get into whatever products you applied before you let out the CO2,
Right.
and that's a good thing. But that's really all. That's I would say no. Just
It
use
almost
apprehend. Just fucking use apprehend, okay?
it almost seems like doing a job with Sterifab. You're going to kill what you spray, but as soon as it dries out, everything else is coming out on top of it with no repercussions whatsoever.
Exactly. Yep.
Basically.
Exactly. Just the lack of residual. Lack of a residual effect is one thing that it would turn me off on it.
Gotcha. And that's like I said, that's something new to me. I've never seen that done, but I bet you somebody held that gun and talked like Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. I'm going to put you on ice.
Let's get back here, motherfucker. I'll put you on ice.
Chill out.
Love. Let out some steam.
Oh, you got one? You want me to get my next one?
Oh, I got one. Let's see. Let's pull it up here. Okay. Tim Harris brings a question. Says, so restaurants have the health department come out for inspections and receive scores. I feel that there should be legislation put in place for similar inspections for bed bugs at places like hotels, retirement homes, thrift stores, and Airbnbs. What would your opinions be on the matter, if any?
Uh, I think if it's something that can affect health and safety, like like if you're sleeping and getting bit or stuff like that, or food or whatever, I think they should all be subjected to the same type of standards. Maybe not HACCP or something like that, but something similar.
Yeah. I think my opinion is no on this as far as bed bugs go, because I'd say bed bugs are not a vector of disease.
True.
And so bed bugs are a pain in the ass. Bed bugs are nasty. They make things nasty. They shit everywhere, but they're not really a health hazard per se. Um, now, and also the stigma that comes with bed bugs. A hotel could get a bed bug through no fault of their own. I mean, they could be a 5-star joint. Everything's nice and clean. Surgical. You could do open heart surgery in one of their rooms, and I'm sure there's some Motel Sixes out there where that's actually happened. And but, but they would still get bed bugs. Now, why would
True. Good
that
point.
fall? Why would that have to fall on the hotel? Um, you
Good
know,
point. Very good point.
I would say, yeah, and there's really no way to metric this in any way, but it's bed bugs are one of those things. It's no shame to get bed bugs. It's a shame to keep them, especially when you're in a commercial establishment. If you get bed bugs and you're not doing a damn thing about it, well, yeah, definitely, your pee should be whacked and repeatedly.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I mean, to actually ding them for this place had bed bugs. This place, it's not their fault, man. It's like they got people coming in all the time, and God knows what they're bringing in.
No, I'm coming around to your way of thinking because that makes complete sense. So I'm with you on that one. I can from you when you expose that point of view, I
Hmm.
have you've changed my heart.
Oh, I did. I touched your heart in that
Yes, you
special way.
did. Yeah,
Oh
not the bathtub full of ice in the Motel 6 way though.
no, no. It's like I mean, you can that can only happen twice, because you only got two kidneys.
All right, Rick Wilhide, one of our favorite cheese bags, had a three-part question, and they're all kind of related to the same answer. Age of first alcoholic beverage, type and how much of said beverage, and did you get drunk or blackout that first time drinking?
Oh God, let's see. 14 years old. I was at my grandma and grandpa's house because we were living there. Um, my dad, his wife, my grandma and grandpa were all out. My dad had a nice little liquor cabinet. I'll backstory this real quick. We were living at our grandparents' house because my dad and his wife were having a house built, and it wasn't ready yet. They sold the house that we were living in, so yeah, you can relate. You can relate, but the house wasn't ready yet, so we had to have some interim housing. Grandma and Grandpa said, "Come live with us." Dad, you and Barbara can, or Everett, you and Barbara can got this room. The boys can stay in the camper that we've got in the driveway. So I was camping out for a few months, right? And so they took off. They were doing their evening thing. I opened up Dad's liquor cabinet. Was actually a nightstand, in their bedroom.
Uh-oh.
And let's see, I had an undetermined quantity of vodka,
Uh-huh.
an undetermined quality of gin, which I will never touch again because
Oh.
that was the last thing I drank. Um, Kahlua
Oh.
and some coconut rum bullshit. Okay, again, I have no idea. I can't remember how much I drank. I did not black out. The room was beginning to spin. Um, when just before they got home, I went into the bathroom in the hallway. I I knew I was going to throw up. I saw three toilets, and I threw
Go
up
for
in
the
the
one in the
wrong one.
center.
I
You
threw
went to.
up in the wrong one. Yeah, tell me that now. I was going for the one closest to the wall. It ended up being the wall, and so yeah, there was a big pile of puke there.
Oh,
I did my damnedest to clean it up, but I could not because I was so drunk. Okay, I had just gotten out of the tub before I started this drinking binge. Somewhere along the line, I forgot to put on underwear. I had my bathrobe on. When Dad and Barbara came home or came back, they saw me lying in the family room on the couch, head is spinning, recklessly thrown open,
free
and
balling.
I was totally free balling. And they were just like, "Holy shit!" They got me covered up before Grandma and Grandpa got home, and needless to say, I was grounded.
Oh
So
yeah, I would say so. Speaking of unusual ways to look when you're younger, we still haven't seen that picture of you with your perm from your
yes,
yearbook
yes,
picture.
I know we haven't. I know we haven't.
All right, my story. I was 11 years old, and we were going to a wedding of the sister of the lifeguard that I had a crush on at my neighborhood pool. Sharon
Was her
Cool.
name Mandy Pepperidge?
No. It was Sharon Kulik with her sun-kissed skin and sun-bleached hair, and I was 11, and I was just starting to get feelings. I was getting them after watching
Yeah, go on.
Electro Woman and Donna Girl. You're creeping me out there, buddy. um, but and so we went to the wedding at their house, and they had a champagne fountain down in the basement where it was a split level house with a walkout basement, and they had a champagne fountain down there on the pool table. So I kept running over and sneaking over to the champagne fountain and getting another glass of it, getting another glass of it. I did that the whole night. Now, when it comes to blacking out, I don't remember going home, so I guess kind of yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But when I woke up in the middle of the night, it's one of those times that you wake up and immediately vomit. You ever sat up and just went, "Ugh!"
Yep.
That's exactly what
And that.
happened to me. I barfed all over the bed. Just I looked
Oh
like a
wow.
lawn sprinkler of vomit all over that bed. And it was mom had put me in her bed, so I threw up on mom's bed. So I was standing there covered in vomit. Mom's changing the bed, trying to be as nice as possible. My mom was a sweetheart. I love you, mom. And I'm just standing there with vomit dripping from my chin, and the whole place smelled like old hot dogs,
Yeah.
bile, and champagne. So
Mama has
that's what
its own
happened.
particular odor.
So that was my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Mm-hmm. Bravo. Oh man. Okay. I guess it's my turn. I am limited on questions, so let's see. Brian Leone asks, "Is Amber Simmons still in the industry?"
Oh my God, that woman.
Yeah. Who cares?
Yeah, I don't. I couldn't give one wet shit about her, much less
Quickest
a
quickest
champagne
answer
vomit.
ever on the show. Who cares? Yeah, yeah. Anybody that uses the word if a cheese bag uses the word unprofessional to another cheese bag, they're not going to be a cheese bag very much longer.
No.
Yeah, that's horse shit. That's not what we're about. We're not here. That's other group bullshit right there. If you want to have a feeling, an air of superiority, and that I'm better than you, and you think you're going to be able to tell somebody to that they're unprofessional or bullshit like that. No, no, we don't do that in
No.
PCHD, my favorite
No.
group. No, it's like you're going to be called out on it, and if you double down on it, you're gone. I mean, that's just it.
You can enjoy a hot steaming cup of shut the fuck up.
Fuck up, amen. That's right. Yeah, I mean that's why we're here to have a good time, and don't be a douchebag. You'll have a good time too.
Well, the Crusader of Contempt, Russell Goswiller, also sent me some questions, and one is
Did he?
specifically for you. Specifically for you.
Uh
But first, the other one is, what do you guys do to relax and blow off after a really bad day? I kind of just me. I just go numb and binge watch. I've become a Trekkie as of late, so I've been binge watching Star Trek like you wouldn't
Old,
believe.
old, new, Deep Space
Um,
Nine or whatever the fuck it is, or
I just finished Enterprise, actually, the one with Scott
okay.
Bakula and
Hmm.
Jolene Blaylock. Oh, Jolene Blaylock. But I just finished that one, and I moved on to the Next Generation.
Ah, okay.
And I'm also catching each episode of Discovery as it comes out
Uh
every
huh.
week. That's a good
Yeah.
one too.
I'm an old fart. I'm a purist. You know, Shatner, Nimoy, DeForest Kelly. The Russian dude, the black chick. That's my. That's always my jam. I can watch. I can binge on the entire series, set it down for a few years, and then binge again, and it's all
Yep.
just like, yeah, yeah, that's awesome and everything. I was a big Next Generation guy back in the 80s and 90s. Um, you know, Jean Luc Picard is, yeah, he's in his own class.
Yes. Agreed.
Absolutely. And I'm sorry, but Riker, he's like if you bought Orson Welles on Etsy or something. But and of course, Deanna Troy.
Mm.
Mm, yeah, she was like she was supposedly an empath in the show, and
She's a
boy,
betazoid.
if she a betazoid, yeah, that's it. And if she ever had any inkling of what I was feeling whenever she came on the screen,
Oh, she'd be
I would
blushing.
have her handprint right here permanently attached to my face.
Well,
Um,
a little trivia for you. The very first episode of The Next Generation had a cameo with DeForest Kelly.
is that right?
Yep, Data and DeForest Kelly walking down, and he was all makeup up to be 139 years old at the time. But he
Oh
was an
wow.
admiral. He was an admiral, Bones McCoy. So
I
yeah.
remember that. Yeah, and let's go to the Star Trek movies. Uh, Sulu got an attitude, man. He got an ego on his ass.
Oh my.
Oh my! It's like, yeah, let's go do that. You have a hearing problem? Like, damn, dude. It's like lighten up, lighten the fuck up. It's like you're on a 5-year mission. Go fuck yourself. Um,
So what do you do to relax though, Brad?
this
After a rough day, doing the
This,
podcast, having a drink.
the podcast, having a drink, sitting down, opening up my Facebook, taking a look and seeing what all you cheesebags are up to and PCHD, and knowing that I'm not alone. That alone, that right there does it. But also, when I'm done with that, I get out and I tend to my garden. Um, I tend to my garden. I tend to my beautiful bride. I pet my dog. He always looks up at me whenever I pet him, and it just melts my heart. Um,
Oh,
and then I sit there and I stare at the wall and I realize that I'm only 5 years away from retirement. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that I do. They may not be conventional things, but drinking is among them. But I try to get myself to realize after I'm done with working and PCHD and everything like that, when I can unplug, and just those few sweet moments where I realize that there's more to life than just working your ass off.
yeah.
Um, and uh, and but then again, that's why we work our ass off, because I mean, your job underwrites your actual life, and there's just no getting around that. And so, be it in the moment where you're trying to pay your rent and everything, and save some bucks up from when you get too goddamn old that you can't do this shit, to actually being there when you're too old that you can't do that shit, and you're still able to pay your bills and everything like that. So, I mean, this is it. This is what does it. I mean, nobody's going to come out and hand you the money that you need to do what you want. Um, so you got to do it. You got to do this now. I mean, there's just no getting around it. But know that there's people out there, and that understand, and that want to talk to you, that will talk to you, that just reach out to them. But the most important person that you need in your life, that will get you through that, is yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that make sure you have something. If you don't have something, find it and do it. and try it. And if you don't like it, fuck it, try something else, But you'll find it. You'll get it dialed in, and that'll be your place, and to get away from it all.
Well, I'll tell you, on the chat that had taken on a life of its own, the Facebook chat that we
Mm-hmm.
have, one of the members there has been working their fingers to the bone to the point that they can't even stand up straight. And
Mm-hmm.
the thing is, there's a balance. You're supposed to work to live, not live to work.
Live to work. Yep.
You
Exactly.
need to find that balance so you can have that time to enjoy yourself. Make the money to be able to do what you want, but don't work so much that you make all the money, but you don't get a chance to have any time for yourself.
Exactly. Yep. And those goals may not present themselves right away. They may just have all of a sudden just jump in your face in less than a year's time. And take your leaps of faith when they come up at you.
Yep. And speaking of alone time and some personal time, Russell's next question is: when is Brad making good on his word and railing me like a Viking?
And Russell, my answer would be, what the fuck makes you think it hasn't already happened? I'm not one to kiss and tell. I don't hose and disclose. It's like
hose and disclose.
I mean, you got I gotta have some thoughts about the person in front of me, or underneath me, or on the bottom of me, or
The possibilities are endless.
They are. The sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit.
Russell, you sick fuck. Thank you very much for your question.
Well, everybody, my favorite office manager ever, Shelly, chimed in and said, two things. Can you really use garlic for mosquitoes? And do women really sexually come on to our poor technicians, or are the technicians just hoes?
Okay. Garlic is Italian spring soap.
Italian spring soap. There you go.
No. Garlic has its place in life. It is delicious in the spaghetti sauce, which I just had tonight. My beautiful bride made this massive pot of spaghetti sauce for freezing, and we had it for dinner. She makes fucking great sauce. And Jack, you know that because
hell yeah. Oh, I've enjoyed it thoroughly.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and garlic don't do a damn thing for vampires either, because I got a couple spots right here that got sucked on.
Get them Italian vampires; they get all tangly thinking about it.
Exactly, fucking garlic. No, garlic has its place in life, and it's in food. So yeah,
not in pest control. And techs are just hoes. That's all it is. Even if a woman does come onto a technician, he's not going to say no, so it still makes him a hoe. Mm-hmm. So there's that.
Absolutable. Oh my god.
You got another one, or you out of questions?
I'm out of questions. I'm ready.
Right.
I'm nothing but answers, though.
Mr. Mario Filippi, another friend, another cheese bag from the international episode. Mr. Awesome Mario, we love you. He goes, So to the both of you, what was the biggest mistake you made in a pest control service that caused a lot of damage? Well, while you're thinking,
I don't know, man. I'm thinking.
I did this apartment complex, a termite job, and the way the salesman had it done for doing the outside, because they had the ground floor had these little concrete square patios that were recessed into the building. So when you stepped out, you had brick wall to either side, and the concrete ended where the building ended. So you had like this little rectangular patio that was kind of tucked into the side of the building. And apparently, the basement of the building was bigger. The footprint went all the way to the to the outer edge of the patio. So when I'm drilling, the drill I got through the slab and the drill just dropped. So apparently, I thought maybe the ground had just sunk in. But no, I was puncturing holes in the ceiling of the basement apartment. And I drilled like 15 holes.
Wow.
No one was home, but then I didn't put any liquid in. Thank God for that. But the ceiling collapsed in the area.
Whoa, holy shit.
Because I popped 15 holes about 12 inches apart all along that ceiling. So yeah. So that
Whoa.
sucked. It was
See,
in the middle of the ceiling.
yeah, this question makes me feel bad because I'm thinking, and over the past 33 years, I don't know if I've caused any significant damage to anything, but I mean, yeah, I may have ridden off somebody's driveway, fall a wheel fall off somebody's driveway, left a big rut, or but I've never pumped, gallons and gallons of chemical into somebody's basement, but drilling something that I thought was a dirt filled porch, or I you
Right.
know I had one technician that had one of those B&G air powered dusters that you pump up to like 100 psi and blast the shit out of stuff. He drilled through both sides of the drywall and threw a bunch of shit in their family room, a bunch of dust in
Ooh.
their family room. I've seen technicians fall through ceilings, things like that. Um, I all of mine have been vicariously through other technicians
You,
but I've always had to be the ones that dealt with them. That's the thing. So I always, gosh,
you've had a charmed career. A
I've had
charmed
a
career.
boring career apparently because some of these things are pretty exciting. They're exciting when you're a tech because it's oh, I'm a tech. Fuck that. The manager's going to handle it. That was
Uh-huh.
me until
Right.
until the last year. So I'm no longer a manager. And fucking god damn it, Jack Life is good.
Hell yeah. You've seemed a bit lighter on your feet since
sorry
then.
sorry to disappoint you, Mario. I will do my damnedest to fuck something up in an epic way just to answer this question the next time we have an Ask Us Anything episode.
That's right. I'll have to remember to come back to this one the next time we do it. All right. One of my favorite cheese bags, Edwin Valerio, asks,
Oh,
he goes, he got to me, he goes, hey, sorry for the late response, but my question to y'all is what's the craziest shit y'all saw on the job site or en route? For me, it was when I worked for Cisco and I was making a delivery on foot in downtown Atlanta and locked eyes with a homeless guy shitting in plain daylight in an alleyway. I had to travel down to complete the task. I couldn't make the delivery that day.
hmm.
I've seen people in alleys smoking crack. I saw a dude getting a snarling from a hooker. I've never locked eyes mid poop with a homeless person though, so that one does take the cake.
It's like when your dog goes out to take a shit and he looks back at you. It's like, am I doing this right?
I'm pooping. Look at
I'm
me. I'm
pooping.
pooping.
Yep. You better have that biscuit ready for me when I get back. Because after I get done with this, but I want to taste the goodness of the biscuit.
I'm making room, Daddy. I'm making room.
That's right. Yeah, Max does that every fucking time. I don't care what direction he's pointing. He will like turn his neck 180 degrees back just to make sure that he's looking locked eyes with me when he's taking his shit. He's just like,
I
yeah.
actually looked into that. There's a reason they do that is
Oh yeah.
because they're in a compromising position. They are relatively defenseless when you got a turd hanging. And they're
Mm-hmm.
looking back to the person who is their protector to make sure that they're good to poop. Because if you're like, oh, next time he does it, kind of look startled and look around real quick and see if he sucks that turd back up and comes running back to the house.
Nope. Can't put the shit back in the dog, man. I do know that they do reciprocate in kind if you leave the bathroom door open.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'll be. I'm serious, man. I'll be taking a piss, right? And I'll be standing in front of the bowl, and I'm working it, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm hitting my stream's a little too strong today." I'll step back and I'll kick the dog, and it's like he's like, "I got your back, Dad. I got your six, man." And oh god, it's funnier than fuck. And if you do a sit down and the door's open, I never do that with the door open
Mm.
because the dog just creeps me out. He comes walking in, he will stand right there and he'll stare at me. Sometimes if he's a little worn out from, maybe he had a good bark after, for a little while just before this, he'll like rest his head in my underwear. Like, you fucking sick fuck, get out of here. It's like, usually I just ignore him and play my electronic Yahtzee game. But oh man.
When I was recovering from shoulder surgery, my arm was in a sling, and I didn't want to close the bathroom door all the way because it was the wrong hand. I'd have to go across my body, so I just kind
Right.
of pulled it to a little bit, and my cat at the time would come in the bathroom and just curl up in my underwear, just sit down and just
Like a
curl up.
nest.
Yes, like a nest. I'm like,
Oh,
what are you doing? It's funky down there. Don't do that.
I'm being sweet. Like I eat fucking dead animals. Come on, your underwear is nothing.
Well, I guess with the dog, I mean, dogs eat cat turds out of the box, so resting this head in your underwear ain't that big of a deal.
They'll eat something disgusting, throw it up, and then eat it again.
Right, right. Okay. Madeline Leva, one of our lovely cheese bags from the Women Who Kill Women in Pest Control episode, chimed in and said, "Why do seniors always feel the need to make it a point to make me stop whatever I'm doing for them and ask stupid questions?
Because they got nothing better to do.
They're probably just lonely."
Look, when when you're retired and you don't work, you lose a lot of this the mental stimulation that you get from interacting with other people in your day to day job. Even if you work from home, which is an entire genre of its own. One of
Right.
these days, I'm going to talk about that. Maybe not here, but anyway, you lose that stimulation of interacting and socializing with people, be it in person, on the phone, via webinar, whatever, and things creep into your head. It leaves a void, to where you have this empty space here that used to be used for talking to other people, solving problems, dealing with other people's shit, stuff like that, satisfying customers and everything. That's got to be filled, and it's going to be filled with these stupid questions and and bullshit that nobody cares about that they need to spit out the next human being that comes along, and you as the pest control technician are that person.
Yeah, now I didn't mind sitting and chatting with him. I had this one customer, I think I mentioned him a couple of years ago, that he just wanted me to sit and talk with him for a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even need anything done. He's like, I don't have any problems. I just wanted to sit. I just like talking to you. So
Yeah.
I do a quick inspection, do a couple
Mm-hmm.
little spritzes here and there, and then I'd spend like 15, 20 minutes, have a cup of
Yeah.
coffee with him.
Yeah, exactly. Shirley Bonds. I remember her name. She's probably dead by now, but when I was at the Big Green Tea, she was one of my customers, and it'd always be the same thing. I don't have any problems. Sit down, young man. And I would sit
Mm-hmm.
there and I would talk to her for 25 or 30 minutes. I knew everything about her life, everything about her grandkids, everything about her cat, everything, all this other shit. And then she'd write me a check just
Yep.
to fucking talk to her.
Yep. Yep.
It was great. I mean, it was great. It was a break in my day. She would, I would have a cup of coffee with her. We would sit, we would talk, have a cigarette. She smoked. So that way I pretty much know she's dead by now. Sorry, Jack. But
That's going to happen in sometime.
so but anyway, it was my social time. During that one period, one time a month. Yes, we did monthly residential back then. I'm that old, and yeah, so it was great. It was great, but you know, unfortunately, we are in a period in our industry we don't have time for that shit because they just keep piling stops, piling stops, piling
Yep.
stops. I'm
Yep.
not saying that about my current employer. I know you're listening, Bill, but we don't. You don't have the time for that kind of stuff, and but people, your customers don't understand that, and to some of your customers, you are the only person, for a while that they're going to see, and
Right.
you just got to make time for them, man. You know, you got to answer the stupid questions like it's the most important question in the world.
Because to them it is. But
To them,
I
it
got to tell
is.
you,
Yep.
there was this little teeny tiny old lady. I don't know. She was ancient, but
Mm-hmm.
sweetest little lady, and she was tiny. And she had this little high pitched, squeaky voice. And she told me she used to let me sit and talk with her for a few minutes. But she said something that stuck with me. She goes, "Inch by inch, life is a cinch, but yard by yard, it's hard.
Oh wow.
So take life in little bits and bites, and it's easy to handle. If you try to take on the big fucking problems all at once, it gets really difficult." And that stuck with me. I know that she's passed away. The house has been sold and everything. She
Mm-hmm.
must have been about 100 when I did her service about
Yeah.
15 years ago. Sweetest little lady. She wasn't bigger than a minute. She was tiny.
Yeah.
Sweet lady though.
Did I ever tell you about Violet Gwynn?
No.
Violet Gwynn. This is when I worked at Scarlet Letter. Every year around this time, she would call, and want us to come out because she's got some bugs in a bag that she wants us to take a look at. So I'd send like, the three different salesmen, every year. I'd send one out. And, the bag would be full of, lint, carpet fibers, cat boogers, things like that.
Right.
And but she, and every time I would come back, the salesman would come back. I said, "Well, did you sell Miss Gwen anything?" Nah, she didn't have nothing. So you were there for an hour. What's going on? We talked. Okay, good. We knew everything about her kids, her grandkids, her great grandkids, her great great grandkids, whatever. And so every year we get the call. Oh yeah, Miss Gwen, we'll go ahead and send somebody out. So we go out, and I knew we were wasting. We weren't going to get anything out of it,
Right.
but
Right.
I would send somebody out, and we had a salesman that had been with us for a few years, and he got to know Mrs. Gwen. Well, one year Mrs. Gwen didn't call.
Oh
And
no.
and so I was wondering about that because a couple months went by. I said, we usually get our call from Violet Gwen by then. And so I went ahead and got online and looked at, I typed in Violet Gwen obituary. And there it
Yeah.
was. The woman was 106 when
Oh
she died.
damn.
Yeah. And so, but, apparently she, and I learned through osmosis from this, talking to salesmen and stuff, she basically outlived all her family. And so
Yeah.
that was all she had was us, the time that we spent with her, and a bag full of cat boogers. And
Tell you that chick wasn't gonna go until she was good and goddamn ready. Apparently.
fucking a. So either that or the last salesman really pissed her off to the point it's like, all right, I'm done with this. And it's like, I'm going
She's
now.
like, "Fuck
It's
all
like,
y'all. I'm going
all
home."
right, yeah, okay, Jesus, doors unlocked.
Well, the ever amazing and crafty Mr. Tony Spangler had a few questions. Number one, how many offers of sex for pest control have you ever performed? I've never performed
Performed
any. Yeah.
0.
Yeah, zero. I've had
Yeah.
offers, but zero.
I had one offer, and it was from the nastiest person in the world. Hey, you want to? What do you say we take this out and trade? No,
No.
no. Check, cash, credit card, not trade.
The air had to stop vibrating from the last part of the word trade when you start. No.
Yeah,
She wasn't even done
exactly.
talking yet.
Yeah,
You're like, no.
her lips did not meet from that word before I said no. I slowly backed away from her.
All right. What's the most messed up thing you found in a customer's home?
Messed up thing?
Yes.
Let's see. Prince William. Do you remember Prince William?
I'm struggling. Gotta help me
Okay.
out here.
All right. I get to tell the Prince William story again. I'm so excited. Okay. Doing an apartment complex, and I get to this one customer's house or customer's apartment. I go in. He's a very large dude. He's like, yeah, just do what you got to do. I go in, and I get to the bathroom, and I open up the medicine cabinet, and all the little glass shelves that are the medicine cabinet were pulled out, and in their place was this dildo as big as
Oh
my
yeah, that's
arm,
right. Yeah,
as
yeah,
big,
yeah.
just kind of leaning up diagonally because that was the only way it could fit in the medicine cabinet, right? No greasy fucking dildo, right? I slowly shut the door. I go back out and I'm looking at, and I'm doing the dining room area and shit. I look up and he's got pictures of Prince William, future King of England, on his walls. Now, this was back in the day when Prince William was a young, pubescent, kid, hair and everything, wasn't banging, Kate Middleton and that kind of shit. So I get out of there. It's like slowly, or actually quickly, I leave the apartment and I talk to the maintenance guy. I said, "You won't believe what I saw in this guy's medicine cabinet." He goes, "Oh, you talking about Prince William?" I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, that's what he calls it." So, yeah, Prince William. That was the creepiest thing I ever found.
It was bad enough you called it a dildo, but when you added the little qualifier of greasy, that just made it so much worse.
That's
A
why I did
greasy
it.
dildo.
Oh man, it was shiny and everything. It's like it was. I didn't get real forensic on it or anything, but holy
You go
shit, man!
the sniff test.
God, say the tip of it smelled like bad breath. That's how big it was.
God. Okay. Mine, I'm just going to tell you, go back to the very first season of Tales from the Crawl Space and look up the Morbid episode. Now, this is pre-Brad, so you'll have to suffer through it because it is pre-Brad. But go to the Morbid episode because the most messed up thing I came across in a customer's home was the customer dead. So, Morbid episode, first season, Tales from the Crawl Space podcast. Check that out.
Yeah. I've
All
yet
right.
to run into a dead body in a residential account. I ran into a dead body in a commercial account, but it was covered in a cloth, and I stepped over it to get downstairs to the kitchen so I could get my job done. Because it was 5:30 in the morning, and there was no fucking way I was going to reschedule this.
Covered in a cloth. What did family cover it up, or why did they let you in the
This
house?
was a mission. It was a mission house, and actually, the ambulance got there at the same time I did, but I beat him in the door, and I saw that the dude apparently died right there by the doorway leading downstairs to the lower level where the kitchen was at. So I just stuck my B&G on the other side of that door, grabbed both hands or rails, and just jumped right over his ass and went downstairs and killed some roaches.
I have to ask, was that person a midget?
I have no idea.
Okay, because number 3 was refer to number 1 and 2, and were there midgets involved? No, there weren't midgets.
No midgets. No. Nope.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, but as far as the creepiest shit, I don't believe that a midget could have handled Prince William.
No, that'd be like punctured lungs.
Oh God, yeah, or at least some tracheal damage from the sun, from north south to north.
I mean, you could stick it in him and see it poking out both ends.
Mm-hmm.
He'd have the head of a rubber penis at his toot hole and at his mouth at the same time.
Dwarf
kebab. That's so fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4. On a scale of 1 to 10, how sexy is Brad considered as a PC tech? Now, you can't answer that for yourself.
I can't answer that. That's all you, buddy.
That's you only gave me a 10 to get up to? I mean, come on, we're talking like 11 or 12 quality.
I was going to say, yeah, before you answer carefully, because my ego is quite fragile.
Oh, yeah, I mean, he's 11 or 12 easily. I mean, come on, it's Brad as a PC tech. I mean, him with his B&G, that's just oozing masculinity. I mean, let's think about it here. I mean, Russell, the Crusader of Contempt Goswiller, wants to be railed like a Viking by Brad. That should tell you everything you need to know. So that's that.
Thank you. My ego has been fully fulfilled.
Number 5. Name one thing you've done to complete a job that you're not proud of.
Oh shit. There was this one time that this wasn't actually a service. This was damage control from said technician falling through said ceiling. And I mean, it was just wide open. The woman was freaking out. Not so much that the ceiling was busted, but she was afraid mice were going to come up from the attic and rappel down on little tiny ropes down into her house from the attic. Okay,
right.
Attic which, after careful inspection, had no droppings, no tunneling in the insulation. The woman did not have mice in her attic, but she was worried that they were just going to fucking, Tom Cruise Mission Impossible their asses down. So I was looking at the ceiling. I said, I got to seal this up for this broad. And I had some glue boards. So I peeled about 12 glue boards apart. Because it was like the drywall was just like hanging there. So I just closed it all back up, put those glue boards up there on the ceiling to seal everything up until she could properly get a contractor out there to fix the ceiling. That patch job lasted about 10 minutes after I left. She was on the phone to me. Yeah, she goes, "It's down again. I'm going to have mice in my goddamn house this weekend. I can't get anybody out till Monday." I said, ma'am, you don't have any mice? I didn't see any evidence. I know they're up there. I hear them. Oh, God, I hate that. I hear shit in the walls calls. Oh.
Well, I tell you, that fits right along with the lore that a piece of buttered bread always falls buttered side down.
It does.
So if you stick them glue boards up there and they came down, I guarantee you they went glued to the carpet.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, though, that's absolutely true. But I had something going for me on that one, and that is a big pile of blown-in insulation laying on her floor down there. So when they did fall down, they landed on the insulation.
Oh, good, good, good.
Ah,
Now, mine isn't near as interesting as that. I was finishing a termite job on a Monday after a whole weekend of binge drinking, and I had had beer, pizza, hot dogs, all kinds of greasy food. So my stomach was kind of gurgling on me, and I'd done the treatment, I'd done the drilling and the filling. I was going around patching all the holes, and the last wall of the garage that I was treating, I squirted a little bit in the pants, and
ah.
I eked out a little hot, hot sloppy ploppy, and I was like, I just got to finish this job. I got to get the.
Mm,
I got to. So I was on my hands and knees with a little dark spot in the back of my drawers, having doo doo a little bit, and I finished patching the holes because my hole apparently wasn't patched very well and it
that's
was
dope.
leaking.
Oh man,
All right.
that's from being railed by a Viking. By
All right. Here's his last question, and I have one more cheese bag who submitted questions after this. Name one lesson you learned from this job which you carried all throughout the years.
one lesson:
Mm-hmm.
the customers are just like us.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just like us. They have their jobs. They have their jobs. It's pluses, minuses. They love them some days. They hate them other days. They have messy ass kids. They have problems at home and everything. Um, it's you just got to remember that customers are people too. I hate to get wholesome here, but it's the truth. Um, Now, it doesn't excuse the over neurotic Karen that drives your shit mad because she's actually probably got a pretty damn good life, but she's so entitled and spoiled that But you got to remember that on the other side of the coin, you don't know what's going on. You know, so you try to keep it just keep shit in perspective. That's the only thing I can say.
Okay. Mine was, and it's a little more aggro than yours. Was when you first start in the business and you end up working for a shithole company, which some people don't have to deal with that, but a lot of people do, and you stress, man, I got to try to find another job. Man, I got to blah 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 blah. You know, play it cool, do it the right way, don't leave yourself in a hole. But what I ended up saying to myself was, I came here looking for a job and I'll leave here looking for a job. That
Mm-hmm.
means nothing has changed.
Yep, that's right. If I could expand on that real quick, Jack, is
Please.
yeah, you're never too old to make that change.
Mm-hmm.
Look at me. I am old. I am crusty. The two holes I have down south leak.
Oh.
It's like I fall and sometimes it takes me several minutes to get up. I have a much lower tolerance for stupidity than I did 30 years
Amen.
ago.
Amen.
Um, but I did it, man. It's like I got out of the situation that I was just like miserable in, and it's out there, especially now. Especially in this day of everybody just blabbering about, yeah, people don't want to work anymore. Fucking jobs are everywhere, and so don't if it feels like it's the right thing to do, then it probably is. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and if it feels like the wrong place to stay, it probably is.
Yep.
So yeah,
Trust your gut.
take it's like I said earlier in the show, take a leap of faith. Take a leap of faith when it pops up. You probably won't be sorry.
Amen. Amen. All right. And the last three questions we have are from Sarah Jessica Suklal, a cheese bag who I
Where the
was
hell has
happy.
she been?
I don't know, but
I
I
don't
tell you,
fucking know, man. I haven't seen shit from her on the depot.
I know,
Girl,
but
I hope you're listening. We miss you.
we do. And I had the pleasure of meeting her and her awesome husband in
You
Myrtle
did.
Beach last
You
year. It was
did.
awesome.
Hmm.
Very cool. She actually asked me for my autograph, which has completely stymied me because,
Oh,
you
that
know,
was just an ego stroke. Don't
I know it
don't
was.
don't blow yourself
No.
up too
Oh, no,
much.
no, no. Oh, no, no. I know it was. I mean, my autograph is worth less than the paper I wrote it on. So I know that. But what she has to say is a three-part question. Why can't the office pull their heads out of their asses?
Because it's stuck too far up there. You get to a point of no return after a while, and
That's true.
you know, it's like a daisy chain. It's like, yeah, the office has their head stuck up their asses, but everybody's like that. It's they're not stuck up their own asses as much as they're stuck up their bosses' asses, whose head stuck up their bosses' asses, whose head stuck up the CEO's asses, whose head stuck up the shareholders the shareholders' asses. It's like a human centipede in corporate America. Also, a lot of and it's even in smaller places, the main goal of some people, mainly schedulers and certain managers, is just to get it off my desk. And the quickest way to get it off my desk is to put it on somebody's day.
Pass the
And
buck.
yeah, pass the goddamn buck. So I mean, that's really the only thing I can say. It's like it's not malicious. It's just more self involved than anything else. Just get it off my desk. I can't see wood grain. Get it off my desk.
Well, I'll tell you, and what I'm going to say next, and I think William the Merciful is the remedy. What his idea is the remedy to this is, first of all, you get a lot of people that work in the office that have zero knowledge of pest control whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're presented with a panicked customer on the phone, they freeze up,
Mm-hmm.
and then they start trying to make promises that are way off base, or just kind of hustle and try to shove it on someone's route, which really doesn't make any goddamn sense at all, usually. But what Wayne the Merciful did, what you told me about, was the kind lady that you'll have working in the office. Apparently, she was shadowing you and a couple other technicians or something to go
Mm-hmm.
out in the field and see
Yeah,
how things are done and get an understanding. And I think that
absolutely.
that makes a massive difference when you get them on the phone with a panicked
Mm-hmm.
customer and they know how the job is, have a good working knowledge of how the job is done,
Yep.
and how the routes are run and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And I think it puts you in a much better position. But I think a
Yep.
lot of office people have their head in their ass because they got no fucking idea.
Right. Yeah, you got to get the best thing to do is to get them out in the field for a couple days. If you've got three techs, 3 days, one with each tech. Not
Mm-hmm.
only not only do they develop empathy for what we're all doing out there in the wild, they also it gives them a day to hang with the people and get to know them.
Right. Right.
And it's just a lot easier to deal with somebody if you know them on a more intimate level than
Yep.
just you're the broad that sits behind the desk and we're the dudes that go out and do all your bullshit. It's yeah, that's probably the most awesome thing I've ever seen in a relationship, and the dividend is we all have a really good relationship with Alexis, and I think hopefully she feels the same way about us. But I know I do with her. I can come to her and she gets it. In fact, I had a reservice on a customer that her and I did. It was basically a follow up for bed bugs, and she got to catch me on an apprehend day, which was awesome. And so she's like, I said, "Do you remember this person?" She looks and she goes, "Oh yeah, you and I did that one." I was like, "Yes, we did." She goes, "What a fucking dump that was." I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "Good luck with that." But, oh yeah, empathy only goes so far.
Right. Right. All right. The second one, and I feel this one in my soul.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we physically fight office staff and not go to jail?
The only reason is because it's against the law. I mean, that's the only thing. Otherwise, it might be a good thing because otherwise there'd just be blood and teeth everywhere in a fucking office.
And I tell you, the remember the story about Jack sure can write a letter.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, a boy named Sue is the person that was in the office, and man, many times I wanted to take him in his office, lock the door, and just wear the leather off of his ass. Man, I
Mm-hmm.
just
Yep.
beat the shit out of him, but
Yep.
I
But
didn't.
I'll tell you what. On the other hand, I've worked with some office ladies I wouldn't fuck with. No, I'm
Oh
sorry.
no,
Oh
no,
no,
that's for sure.
they would fucking liquefy my ass. It's like no,
That's for sure.
it's like all right, no problem. We'll take care of it. That's it.
Yeah, in the big green tea office I worked in, there was an office lady named Virginia. I doubt she's listening, but she's awesome. But she'd give you the stink eye that'd make you feel like you were 5 years old.
You're just saying she's awesome because you think she actually might be listening.
No, no, no.
She'll let you down and she will kick your ass.
I love Miss Virginia. I love Miss
uh,
Virginia to death. She was a great, great woman. But if you pissed her off and she gave you that eyeball, man,
yeah.
you felt like you spilled your milk on the carpet when you were 5 and you would get your butt beat. That's so yeah. All right, and the final question of the night is specifically for you, Mr. Brad. Spell vacuum correctly.
VACUUM.
Ah, you got it. That's she
Yeah.
wanted to see if you. She goes, I got a question you can ask Brad on the spot. Spell vacuum correctly. LOL. So
VACUUM. LOL.
very nice. Very nice. That's all the questions we have this evening. And I think we did
Well, good
pretty
because
fucking
that's all
awesome.
the time we got because we're way over.
Yeah. Yeah. Y'all got an
Uh,
extra special one this evening.
oh, dude, no. The last time we did Ask Us Anything, we went over as well. I really appreciate the involvement that all of you take in the podcast. It's just really incredible.
I love it. I
And
love
yeah,
it. I
I
really
love
do.
it too. I mean, we are definitely a niche, a genre, nay, a kink. But
Yeah.
but even though our audience is small, your hearts are huge, and we really appreciate you. We really appreciate you listening. I get, I'll see posts on PCHD, my favorite group. As far as people, they'll show screenshots of their dashboard where they're listening to us
Yep.
as they're going about their day, and it's just it's a real charge, and I'm glad that I'm thrilled and I'm honored that we actually are a part of your day,
Oh yeah, for
and
sure.
that that somehow in one tiny little way that we somehow make you smile from time to time. So um,
Give you
and
a little tangle.
little tangle in my penis.
In my penis. Right in my
Yeah.
penis.
Yeah. So again, I am really glad that you guys consider us as a part of your day, and we'll try to do our damnedest not to let you down.
Damn right. No, to me it feels like a family, like a big family
Mm,
all over the world, and I love it because
yeah.
I'll get messages from people that how much they love the show and
Mhm.
how it's made them feel and how it helped them get through the day, and it makes me feel like $1,000,000. It really does.
Because at the end of the day, we're here for you. I mean,
Yep.
Jack and I could just get on a conference call together and just talk to each other, for an hour and 17 minutes and 30 seconds, and and but we're here for you, and we're going to be here for you, and just let us know what you think. We've got a review section on the website on www.tftc.wtf, and
Mm-hmm.
let us know what you think. If there's something that you'd like to hear, let us know. If there's something, if you're madly in love with the show, let us know. If you hate us, then our website is www.pestcemetery.com. So yeah, just let us know what's going on. What's in your head, and we'll do what we can.
Hell yeah. Damn right we will. Now, are we still going to try to cobble together the international episode for next week?
Oh, for next week, you think we can do it in a week?
I think we could probably maybe pull it off.
No, maybe if we go ahead and put our cups on and gird our loins, and I'm sorry, I'm getting worked up, but anyway, yeah, we should be able to do it. Let's try it. It's gonna be it's gonna be 50-50. We're either gonna have the international episode or we're gonna have yet another hiatus.
It's true, but we'll try to pull it together. We'll make something happen one way or the other. So
Okay, let's see. Yeah, we'll go ahead and put a shout out now. Mario, you listening? Dave Lyon, you listening? Dezanoff, you listening? Um, Anybody else that lives outside the continental United States, are you listening? We'd love to have you on the show. Let's talk.
yeah, get a hold of us at Pest Control Humor Depot. If you're not a cheese bag, you should go to the Pest Control Humor Depot and become a cheese bag. But
Yeah, I
other
mean, if you're in the business and you're not on Pest Control Humor Depot, why the fuck not?
right. Either that, and you get a hold of us at jack at tftc.wtf or brad at tftc.wtf. Let us know. We'll get you on the show. You can get us on the TikTok at TFTC 2.0 or Instagram at TFTC Podcast. If you're from anywhere but the United States, you want to be on the show, give us a holler. We'll make it happen, Captain.
There you go. All right. So, on behalf of my good friend Jack Starry, PCHD, Pest Control Human Depot, my favorite group, Tales from the Crawl Space Podcast, SpanglerArt.com, PestDesigns.com, whatever the fuck Dave Lyons thing is.
Crab Smashers, Dice, and Resin.
There you go. All right. All of us, thanks for listening. And we, once again, we cordially invite you to bug the hell off.
Bug off.